The screen just went away. Hang on. Okay, I got it. I went to go mute.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But you can see my screen again?
I now can see your screen, yes.
Okay, no problem. All right, so this is the advanced class, and just like before, I am recording this class, and if you'd like at the end of this to receive this via email, just let me know, and after we convert it and post it to YouTube, we will go ahead and email that link out to you, just like we will the earlier class that you took today. Okay, as a advanced class, what this class generally covers are those items in the software that people who are already familiar with the software are usually unfamiliar with. In other words, kind of like little hidden gems in the software that people don't know about until they're actually shown them. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is emailing staff. So for instance, when you set up your staff, and hopefully you've already done so, every one of them has an email field down here. So you must have their email address in that field in order to take advantage of being able to email a staff member. One way to do that is simply by clicking within their employee file the email button. And this allows you then, it'll automatically populate their email address here. You can type in a subject, a message, and hit send, and off it goes to that staff member. However, anytime you're emailing a staff member, you can choose to check others as well. And as long as you have their email addresses, those will also then be put into the email address field so that this message will go to all of them. I could also, at any time, select all, and now I can put in my subject and my message and send it to every one of my staff members, not just a select few. Or
does it to take out the ones that are inactive, or?
No, it does not. It's going to send it to everybody that you have on your list.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and you can simply remove their email address and then they won't be part of it. So if you've marked them inactive or they no longer work for you and you want to keep them in your system, but you don't, but they're no longer with you, just simply remove their email from the email field and they won't get them.
Okay.
All right, so now that's one way to do it, right through the employee file. Also, if you were in the appointment book, you could right-click on an employee and you could select email and exactly the same thing comes up and it works precisely the same way. Now, having said that, I also want you to be aware of the fact that you can do that with customers as well. So for instance, here I've got Penny Rabinkoff. I could right-click and go into her client information window, and there's an email button. Her email, if you had it already on file, would have already populated. You put in the subject, the message, and hit send, and off she goes. Now, the difference between these two is when an email goes out to a customer, it will have your logo and your social networking icons on it. If it's going out to a staff member, it will not. Okay? So it's just prettier when it goes out to a client.
And they respond back to me. Where does it come?
Okay, when you set up your email system, that's Darcy, and you'll learn about that in the Darcy class, but in Darcy, we have business email address, and you put in whatever email address you'd like here, and if somebody replies to a Darcy email, it will be forwarded to any email address you have put here.
And if I wanted to go to 2 different email addresses?
No, it's only going to go to one. So okay,
no worries. That's okay.
Okay. All right. So that's being able to email staff and customers. Now, there's lots of different ways to email customers, by the way, of course, other than just going directly to them the way I just showed you. Through the Darcy system, you have the ability to contact customers via email, to have appointment reminders or confirmations, or to send them notifications before their birthday or anniversaries. Those are the types of things you learn in the Darcy class. Even emailing receipts, which we will be talking about in this class. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be talking about is in inventory, we have an activity button. So I'm going to go to inventory, and I'm going to pull up a product like my Justin All-in-One shampoo, and I've got my activity button right here. This activity button allows you to see everything that's ever happened to that product from the day that it was first put into your system until your current date. So there's lots of different things to see here, and I've got all right now. But if I hit received only, then this is simply going to give me purchase orders that I've created in the software for this particular product that have been received. Sales only will show me every sale I've done on that product. And returns only will be any merchandise returns that I've done for that product. And adjustments will show me any manual adjustments I may have done to that product. So all of those are shown when all is up. So then you see everything that ever happened to that product. whether it would be a purchase order or a sale or a merchandise return, it doesn't matter. It's all in there. That's the activity button. Close that. Okay. The next thing we're going to be talking about is in the appointment book. In the appointment book, we have something called the month view screen. Now, people are familiar with the day view and the week view and how to book appointments through those, etc. But a lot of people are unfamiliar with the month view screen. And a lot of people think, you know what, not something that I really need. However, for those people who have tried it, a lot of them decide it's the only way to book appointments now, because it's a really simple and easy way. And once again, you're able to get to it in a multitude of fashions. From appointments, I can go to month view, brings up my month view screen. From sales, I can go to, book appointments and go to my month view screen. And of course, if I'm in the appointment book, not clients, in the appointment book, I can go to month view and there's my month view screen. So what is it and how does it work? So I'm going to go to appointments, month view. Here's my month view screen. And the first thing I want you to notice is that we're on May 2017, and this is the calendar for May. In italics is the day that we are currently on. And in black highlight are the days that appointments can be booked for that month. So
for
in
that
this
person,
case,
for any person.
For anybody.
For anything.
For right now, for the spa. Right now, this is just for the salon or the spa. Any day that can be booked. My salon and spa is closed on Sundays, which is why these are grayed out. But from the 17th to the 31st, other than the 14th, 21st, and 28th, any of these can have an appointment booked for them. Next, I choose the operator. So I could choose someone like, for instance, Ashley, and you'll notice when I chose Ashley that Thursdays and Wednesdays have just grayed out. She doesn't work those days. She works Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So because of that, I'm left again in black only with the days that Ashley could perform a service. Let's choose Christian.
What happens if Ashley's booked solid on a day? Is that booked completely solid? Does it go gray then for that?
Then it goes gray. That's exactly right. So if I were to choose somebody like Christian and the 18th was completely booked, then the 18th would have grayed out once I chose Christian. Again, leaving me in black only the days that he can actually perform a service. So if he has even 15 minutes available, it will still be black. But then I choose a service. So now this is an hour and 45-minute long appointment that I've chosen here, an anti-curl with haircut. So if he only had a half hour available on the 19th would have been black till I chose a service that was over a half hour. Once I do so, the 19th would have grayed out. Again, leaving me only with the days that he could actually perform that service, or even multiple services. So I could choose more than one service as well. I can choose up to 2 services on this. So I got an anti-curl with haircut and perhaps a hot stone 60. This is a full 2 hours and 45 minutes worth of appointments. Again, days may have grayed out if he didn't have a full 2 hours and 45 minutes available in one gap of time. So then any days that are left black, I can click on and see the available times that he would have. Maybe there's only one available time. Maybe there's 2 or 3. Of course, in this case, because it's wide open, I've got a whole bunch of them. But I could choose, for instance, I've got an anti-curl, which is an hour and 45 minutes, and a hot stone 60, which is an hour, and I'm going to say 12 o'clock for Thursday, May 18th, because that's the day that I chose. When I clicked on the 18th here, filled in that, gave me my available times. Now I can choose a customer, either brand new or somebody in my database. So I'm going to choose Keith Epstein here, which doesn't make much sense because he's getting a women's haircut, but it doesn't matter. And my client type, I'm going to say that he asked for Mr. Epstein, and book it. Now, if any rooms are required or equipment, it's going to come up just like that. The appointments have been booked. So let's take a look. Let's go to our appointment book, and let's go to the 18th. And there we see Keith Epstein with Christian for the anti-curl, and Keith Epstein for the hot stone with Christian. So
what's that white in the middle?
The white in the middle is a gap time. Now, it's often not seen in spas, but in salons, let's say that you go get your hair colored. That would be what we call a single process. So you've got your chemical time, then you have your processing time, and then you have your finish time. The processing time is when Debbie, for instance, could stick an additional half-hour service in here for somebody else. This is the time that Debbie is processing, and therefore, well, Debbie Raffle here, but this Debbie, the provider, is able to book another appointment for somebody else or even for Miss Raffle. But in this case, Miss Raffle is processing during that time, and that's exactly what's going on here.
It's a certain amount of time that they predetermined in the software to.
That's right.
Okay, I got it.
To allow them to process. That's right. Okay, and so that's what that's going on there. That's why the Hot Stone 60 doesn't have that, but a hair service does.
All right, and then when you do a client type again, choose anything but the first two, so I can understand the other buttons.
Okay, sure. They're all going to have.
But you don't have to do it right now. But I just want to make sure I say the client type because I only do the first two, and they're all these other ones. I've been I don't know if you know this, but I've been using Pro Solutions for like literally like 15 years, long, maybe even longer than that. And then we went away for 6 months and came back. And so when we came back, we said we're going to learn the whole program.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's a very good idea. But let's go ahead and let's just book an appointment here. I'm going to go with a blow dry and curl for Wendy Eastham here, and I'm going to book that with Leslie. Now, when I right-click to choose what type of client type there is, as I said before, no type means I don't care who I see. Request means I specifically asked for Leslie. Now, a new request is the same thing as a request. The only difference is that a new request is letting me, the person who's booking the appointment or the owner or whoever, know that they asked for Leslie, but this is their first time here. A non-request specifically means that there was somebody that they did not want to see, but they're good with Leslie. And I can maybe add a note to that. A new non-request is the same thing. They said, I don't want to see Kathy. Maybe they heard bad things about her, but they don't mind seeing Leslie, or they don't care who they want to see because it's a non-request. But again, new non-request is somebody who's new to it. Referred, I'll go ahead and do this one. You see the different color there. They all have different symbols. Referred means just that. Wendy was referred to Leslie. And I can choose in her client file how she heard about us as well, and even who referred her. So if I chose by a friend, I could say that she was referred by Frida Eastman. Wendy Eastham was referred by Frida Eastman, and save.
And
then go ahead.
Okay. Well, okay, go ahead. Keep on going.
All right, let's quickly book another one here for Teresa here. And again, I've got bumpable. Bumpable is, for instance, Teresa says something like, let's pretend, I've already got one here for Ms. Tabaki, but who cares? I'll go ahead and book it anyway. Yes, I do. Good to know. All right, so I've got a different color here. This one is telling me that this person is bumpable. Bumpable means maybe Teresa is Abigail's sister or sister-in-law or best friend or something like that. And she said, hey, can you fit me in for a blow dry and curl? And she says, yes. Then somebody calls and says, can I see Abigail at 11 o'clock? And it's a paying customer. That tells me that this person is okay to bump. So I could book somebody else here and maybe move Teresa Tabaki somewhere else. And let her know.
We've talked to our patients and they said, hey, we've already determined that they're comfortable being bumped. That's why we would mark them that.
That's exactly right. They're comfortable being bumped. It's okay with them if you change their appointment. That's exactly right. And so it's just a little symbol to let you know that that's what that person is.
Back it up on the one that I don't want to see Susan. I want to see Stephanie. Where does it say that I don't want to see Susan or don't put her?
That's where you would put a note in. So for instance, I might go to somewhere like my appointment info and do a note and say specifically stated did not want to see Kathy.
But that goes away after that appointment's over.
That's right, but if I wanted to, yes, it does go away after that appointment is over. There's the note, specifically stated did not want to see Kathy. I could, of course, in the client information, I could put in, for instance, a pop-up note that might say something like, when she comes here, she never wants to deal with Kathy. That would be the very first thing that I see whenever I go to book her an appointment or to process a sale. Anytime I pull up Ms. Eastham, the very first thing I'll see is that she doesn't want to deal with Kathy. So you could do something like that as well. I could even go into regular notes and put a note in there like that. The only difference with this, though, is that I would have to go into these notes to see that, whereas a pop-up will be the first thing I see.
Okay, I got it.
All right. And then we'll go ahead and say the last one, of course, is simply cancel booking, which means I'm not doing what I thought I was about to do. That's all. Okay. All right. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about, unless you have any other questions on that, okay, is locking and unlocking columns. So you already know that when you go from one group to another, that your staff might change. So for instance, if I were to go to nails, I've got a very different set of people than if I were to choose waxing.
What is the X
So
there?
the X here?
Uh-huh.
This X means that Maria DeNicola has already cashed out today. She's already checked in and checked out.
Oh, okay. That's a new thing since 6 months ago.
Well, not necessarily. Your system might be set for, let's go to Setup, Preferences, Appointments. And if this is checked, it'll use the X. But if this is unchecked, it'll use a black bar. It's totally up to you. Most people like the X because it's really easy to see, whereas if you don't have the X set up, then it'll be a black bar when they check out.
Show
so
me
if you say, hey, you know,
where did you get to that? Where did you get to it?
Setup, Preferences, Appointments.
Got it.
And here I've got use X's instead of color bar. So I'm going to uncheck that and save. And let's refresh our screen. Black strip means that this person has checked out.
All right.
And some people see that and they're good with that because it's nice and clean looking. But other people really like that X because it's just a really obvious way to see that Ms. DeNicola has come in and left.
Okay.
And so Setup, Preferences, Appointments, use X's instead of color bar. And refresh, and now it's X's. Okay?
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is locking and unlocking columns. So again, here I am in my waxing group, and I've got Sarah, Michelle, Melinda, Maureen, and Debbie. In my nails group, I've got Kathy, Maureen, Michelle, Melinda, Leslie, and Anna. Notice Anna is not in the waxing group. But what if I wanted to see Anna's schedule? She's got a busy schedule, lots of little things going on in here, and I know I'm about to go to a group that Anna doesn't work in, like, for instance, waxing. I'm going to lose Anna, and I want to see Anna, even though I need to book in the waxing group. So all I need to do is right-click on any appointment whose column I want to lock and select Lock Column. By doing so, any group I go to, now we already know that Anna does not work in the waxing group, but watch what happens. When I choose waxing, there's Anna. So I can see her schedule. Now, does that mean that suddenly she's working in the waxing group? Absolutely not. If I try to book a waxing appointment for Anna, it will tell me that this operator does not perform the service. So just because you can see her here now doesn't mean she works in this group. I am able to see her schedule for whatever my reasons are, and then I book with somebody else. And whenever I'm done, I simply hit unlock. And when I hit unlock, any columns that I have locked will vanish if they don't belong in that group.
Just for that moment. Okay, I got it.
That's right.
All right.
So locking and unlocking columns allows you to see staff members in any group, whether they work in that group or not. That's what locking column does. And unlocking removes them. And you can do multiple staff members. It doesn't have to just be one at a time. You could have locked 8 staff members, 20 staff members, but they'll come with you. I don't know why you would ever want to do that, but all of those columns will come with you no matter what group you go to. That's locking and unlocking columns. Okay?
Okay.
All right. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is refunds. I'm going to right-click on Penny here, and I'm going to go to Checkout. It opens up my point of sale, and I've got Penny. She saw Debbie. She got a back facial. She owes me $65. Now, I've got a little refund button up here in the upper left-hand corner. If I click that, does that turn this into a refund? Absolutely not. It does not. What this does is, what this means by having this blue with the plus sign, it means that anything I add to this ticket is going to be a refund. So perhaps the last time Penny was here, she got, let's say, a bang trim. And everything was fine. She paid for it. She went home, looked at herself in the mirror, thought, you know what, it's a little bit crooked, and called you and said, my bang trim was a little off, and you said, I'm so sorry. When you come back, I will refund your bang trim, or I'll give you a free one or whatever. But let's say I'll refund your bang trim. Okay, so it was maybe Christian that gave her the bang trim, and so it's going to be his commission that's going to get tagged for it. And so now this is a refund. She now only owes me $55. She's paying for the back facial, but she's getting a bang trim refund. Also, I can then...
Does that mean that when the technician gets paid, they get paid the $10 less the commission as well, right?
That's right. It'll dock their commission as well. That's right.
Cool.
So now when I have this grayed out again, I could say she's buying this product that Kayla sold her, the BioSilver Classic Ion, for $36. Great. Then I click back on that, and she is returning the Justin All-in-One shampoo. So again, I can mix and match refunds and sales on the same ticket using this button. Now, can that just be a refund? Absolutely. I hit refund, choose my customer, and say that he's returning the Justin All-in-One shampoo that Madison sold him. And there it goes. Now this is a negative balance. If I go to payment and it is a positive balance, whether there are refunds involved in the sale or not, if it's a positive balance, the customer still owes me money, and they're going to pay in any of the normal ways. If, however, it is a negative amount, which it is, I still go through the same process so that my drawer is accurate. For instance, if I select cash for negative $22.94, when I process this transaction, it's going to pop open my drawer. I can take the $22.94 out and hand it directly to the customer. By doing so, my software is aware that the drawer is now $22.94 less than it should have been because you did a refund in cash. You can do a refund in credit as well. And then if you're going to do that, normally you would ask them to produce the same card that they made the purchase on, and you do a refund directly back to their credit card, whether you're using a card outside of the software, a system outside of the software, or if you're using our system. Either way, you ask them for the card that they purchased it on, and you can put the money back on their card. So that's
okay. So of that sale that was refunded, when it's refunded, does that technician's commission come back to the house?
It does.
Okay.
It does. Now, let's say that Madison here sold Jim the Justin All-in-One shampoo 2 weeks ago, okay? And let's say that she got her commission on it. She got paid already, okay? Then Jim walks through the door with an unopened bottle, or maybe he used it, whatever, but he needs to return this product. And the boss agrees, yes, we're going to allow you to return that. We're going to give you a refund for it, okay? So you go through that process of the refund. Now Madison is going to get negative on this. She's already been paid for the sale that she made 2 weeks ago. But her next commission is going to be less the commission amount for this product because it was refunded.
Okay, cool.
So even if she's already been paid for it, it'll still tag her commission. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Any questions on refunds then?
No.
Okay. So we're going to talk about closing the drawer now. When we close the drawer, the first thing that we do is we get a closing wizard here that tells us the first step in closing the register is to post any paid-ins or paid-outs. Now, most of the time, you'll never have to do that because most of the times you won't even have paid-ins and paid-outs. However, if you do, you should be doing your paid-ins and paid-outs at the moment they should be registered and not at this time.
Okay.
But if you didn't, this is telling you, make sure you do them now before you finish the closing process because your drawer is going to be off if you don't. So what exactly is a paid in and paid out? How does it work? So Maria is the boss, and she walks up to me. I'm the lowly front desk person, and so I do whatever Maria says. And Maria walks up to me, and she says, hey, Matt, give me $20 out of the till. I'm going to go get coffee for the staff. So I do a no sale. I pop open my drawer. I take $20 bill out of it, and I give it to her. Okay. If I don't record that as a paid out, my drawer is going to be $20 short. And I don't have an explanation as to why. But my drawer is $20 short. So that's why when Maria says, give me $20 out of the till, I go to register, and I go to paid outs. And I said, boss wanted for coffee, $20. And then I can post this, or I can post and pop my drawer, pull the 20 out, and give it to her. Or if I did it after she took the $20, I would just post it, so I don't need to pop open my drawer. I could even print a receipt for it, so I have a record of it. By doing this, the software knows that $20 has been removed from the drawer, and why. And therefore, when I close my drawer, my drawer will no longer be short $20 because it knows $20 left, and it knows why. So the drawer is still accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to do that, but let's just say that I did, and the next day, I've already closed the drawer now, and everything was good. The next day, Maria hands me a $20 bill. She says, stick that back in the drawer. That's for the coffee I bought yesterday, and my accountant told me not to take it out of the till. So, okay, I stick it back in the drawer. Well, guess what? If I don't keep a record of that, you've got it, my drawer is now going to be over $20, and I don't have a reason for it. So when Maria hands me that $20, I go to register, and I go to paid ins. And I said, boss paid back for coffee. And I put my amount in, $20. And again, I post and open the drawer. By doing that, my drawer knows that $20 has been put back into the drawer and why. And therefore, when I close, it's no longer going to be $20 over. It knows that there's that extra 20. That's paid ins and paid outs.
Yeah,
I've
been doing those paid ins and paid outs for years.
Good,
good. Yep.
So we go to register, close. It says make sure you do them. I've already done them or I don't need to do them, and continue. Now it wants to know how much money am I leaving in the drawer for tomorrow. So you started the day, let's say, with $50, because let's say that that's where you like to start every day, $50. So you started your day with $50. And during that time, you brought in checks, you brought in credit card payments, and you brought in cash. Now, at the end of the day, you're going to close, and you go through this process. And it says, and you've got, I don't know, let's say $340 in cash in there. And it says, how much do you want to leave in for tomorrow? Well, if you wanted to put, say, like $50 or $75 in there, it's going to take the difference out. So if I said $50 and I had $340, then it knows that I'm taking $290 out of the drawer for my deposit. So all this tells me is what am I leaving in the drawer for tomorrow? And it can be a zero. You could start fresh every day. But I'm saying, no, I'm leaving $50 in the drawer for tomorrow and accept. So I brought in, my deposit now is going to be $368.55 in checks, $368.55 in cash, $550 in checks, and $160.44 in credit card. My total deposit, $1,078.99. But of that deposit, $368.55 of it is actual cash, which means that I had in my drawer $428.55 because I left $50 in the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my total is that.
I got it.
So I'm good with my totals, and I accept that.
Wait.
Now, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you a question on that screen.
Oh, okay. Do you remember what it was, or do you remember what the screen was like, or do you want me to go through it?
Well, there's a credit card 1, 2, 3, 4.
Uh-huh.
I would like
well,
to know
that's because, okay, that's how much did you take in MasterCard? How much did you take in Visa? How much did you take in Amex? How much did you take in Discover?
Okay, so
reason,
will it say Amex, this, that, and the other, so I can balance it to my
yes.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
What about debit?
The debit is usually, a debit card is usually a Visa card or a MasterCard. Even if you didn't accept it as one of those, as a separate debit, then it's still going to show as a Visa or MasterCard, et cetera, because it's treated the same way.
Okay, so it's this, debits are inside the credit cards.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Now
All right. All right, so now what I've got here is I've got my closing report. I can print this out, or I can simply accept it. Whether or not I print or accept it works the same way. They both accept. A print accepts it, and an accept accepts it. Now, when I first came here, my overshort might have said $50 in red. If you say, wait a minute, that shouldn't be that, it's okay. Go to accept. Don't press it. Just bring your mouse over it. And if you really are overshort, it'll stay. But by bringing the mouse over to the accept, it'll change to 0 if you're not overshort. Because basically what it's doing is saying what is being left in the drawer. And so it's saying, okay, I'm either over or short this amount, bring it over to accept. No, I'm not. I'm about to accept this, and I'm good. Everything is good. So okay. I just want you to be aware. If you see a number here in red, just bring your mouse over here, and if it stays there, you're overshort. You're either over or short, excuse me. But if it vanishes, then you know you're good. Okay?
Good.
All right. And so we can accept that. Are you sure? Yes, the drawer is closed. Now, by closing my drawer, that does not mean that I can't do business anymore, because I might have shifts. I've got one girl who works from 8 to 2 and another girl that works from 2 to 8. And so my girl who works from 8 to 2, at the end of her shift, she closes her drawer and might even take the money out. Or maybe she just leaves it all in and whatever. But perhaps she even takes that money out, gives it to the boss. My shift's over. The next shift is coming in starting at $50 again, not at $428. Because my shift's over, and here's my drawer. Here you go, Maria. Here's my drawer. Here's my deposit. It's all yours. And here's my report. The next girl comes right back over to this, and she's about to go to her very next person. The drawer has been closed. Would you like to reopen it? Yes. And now I'm starting my second shift. I could do that. I could even create separate drawers entirely. So I could say, for instance, I close drawer 1 and open drawer 2. Or I can create different registers.
How do you do that?
That would be set up. Oh, God, it's been a while.
Well, it's okay. So
register.
I'm going to have to, okay.
Yeah, I've got my number of cash drawers. Right now I've only got 1, but if I say 2, I can choose what cash drawer to open. Number 1, number 2, number 3. So I can have multiple cash drawers open, all of them running at the same time if I wanted, all of them bringing in money, and all of them being treated separately.
And then at the end of the closing day, do I get an overall report of everything together?
That's right, yes. Under reports, if you want, you can do a consolidated closing report, and that would be for all drawers.
Okay.
And of course, you can have individual drawers with individual closings. And if you're going to do that, I would recommend not only setting up multiple drawers, but also setting up multiple registers. Okay? So you can say this computer is register 1. That computer is register 2. That computer is register 3. That way they're kept completely separate. That's really beneficial in a Metaspa environment where they say we're keeping our medical services separate from our spa services. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have that type of computer system where we can do that. We would either. So you don't recommend the separate. You don't recommend each employee has their own drawer unless we have our own register.
Unless you have shifts, I wouldn't bother. And yeah, doing the registers separately makes having separate drawers a much more effective tool. So yeah, I would say if you're going to do multiple drawers, do multiple registers as well. Register 2 has drawer 2, register 3 has drawer 3, register 1 has drawer 1, etc.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. You don't have to do it that way, but it's going to make your life a lot easier when you're running reports to keep them separate. If you're saying I've got one register but 3 different drawers, it's going to start combining things. Although, as I said, you do get to do that very thing. So you can close drawer 1, and keep drawer 2 open, that sort of thing. Okay? All right. Moving on. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is modifying a transaction. Now, that's something that a lot of people are familiar with because it's so important. Is that something you need to learn about, or do you want me to skip over?
I don't even know how to do it at all.
All right, let's talk about it then. Okay, so I'm going to go to sales here, and I'm going to choose a customer. We'll go with Jeanette DeLucio here and say that she saw Angie. Nope, Angie doesn't offer services. She saw Abigail, and she got a back facial. And payment, cash, accept, and accept. Done. Great. And then Abigail walks over to you and says, you know what, she was booked for a back facial, but she actually did a blah, blah, blah facial. And you're like, oh, well, son of a gun, she already paid and left. Okay, we got to fix some things. So I'm going to pull up that customer's transaction. Now, I can do it, especially if it was the very last transaction. That's easy. I just go to View, Transactions, and hit Last Transaction, and there it is. But if it wasn't, I can go to Last Transaction, and I can go to Previous, and I can scroll through my transactions until I find it. I could do that too. Or if maybe it was from a couple of days ago, and I've got hundreds of transactions to scroll through, I may just want to go right into the customer's information and go to their history. And there's the transaction. So however I find the transaction, doesn't matter. Once I do it though, and I'm viewing the transaction itself, I can press the button that says modify. Now I can change pieces of this transaction. Maybe it wasn't Abigail that did it. Maybe it was Ashley. So now I just changed the operator who performed the service. Let's go back to Abigail and say, no, it wasn't a back facial. It was a, I don't know,
Whatever.
facial highlights. And so that's the actual service. So I may want to change my description as well. And perhaps I even change the price. So if they already paid and left, I probably don't want to change the price. But maybe that's exactly what I need to do. Change the price. Maybe I typed in $65 when it was actually $55 and it was just a simple quick click of the fingers a little bit too fast. I processed it, she paid, left, and then I think, oh my God, I screwed that up. So I'm going to change that. $55, whatever it is. She paid me $55, but I accidentally put in the 6 there. So I can even change the price. Once I've changed things on any page at all, I press save. Then I can go to my next portion, and I can change other things. Like, for instance, how did she pay? She paid with cash? Maybe. Maybe I put it in cash, but she actually paid with check. So I just changed it to check.
How did you change it to check, though?
Okay, each one of these has a number. One is cash. 2, that's right. 2 is check. 3 is credit card. And if you're not sure what those are, they follow the payment screen.
Okay.
And I can show you that in just a moment. But let's go back to cash here. I can even change then who the client was by changing their client number. If I don't know, I can go back into the client file and find out exactly what their client number is. Put in a different client number, and I will get a different client. So I can even change the client on it. In other words, I can manipulate anything in the transaction, save, and then any changes I made will appear. Now it's facial highlights instead of a back facial. And my reporting now is going to be accurate. It wasn't Abigail, it was Ashley. It wasn't a back facial, it was a facial highlights. It wasn't for $65, it was $55, whatever. All of those are now reportable. So now when I run my report, the right person's going to get the commission and for the right amount. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
That's modifying a transaction.
Thank you.
All right. Absolutely. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the points program.
Oh, good.
Okay. So I've got a customer. Whoops. That, I know it's an invalid code. Bab is not, there we go. That's where I want it to be. Pull up Ms. Babcock. Now, when I pull up Ms. Babcock, you're going to notice something here. She has 3,473 points. How did she get them? She got them because when I set up my points program, I said that certain services earn certain points. Certain products earn certain points. Even referrals can earn points. Now that she has points, she can use them. So she saw Debbie, and she got a back facial. She owes $61.75. We go to payment. She would like to use her points. Click. She owes me 1,300 points for the back facial. She's got them. She's got 3,473. Click. And it's going to reduce it by 1,300 points, and it's going to zero out what she owes me. And accept. And accept. She paid with points. Done.
And what about the technician's commission?
Comes in. The technician still gets their commission. It doesn't matter how the customer pays. It's the value of the service that the customer is getting their commission on.
Ah, good. Okay.
Okay, so now you'll notice that when I pulled up Ms. Babcock now, she's got 2,163 points because she just used 1,300 of them. And this time she saw Christian and she got an anti-curl. She owes me $171. She would like to use her points again. Well, she needs 3,600 points. She only has 2,163. So one of two things is going to happen, and it's based on the way I want it set up. Do I want it set up as cash value, or do I want it set up as freebie only? So check, I've got it set up as cash value. It's going to let me use the 2,163 points, but it's only going to reduce the $171 that she owes me by $102.74.
I don't understand. Owe me. I don't understand this. Wait, go back. How is it the cash value and the I've lost you someplace.
Those are your two options, cash value and freebie. Okay?
What the freebie, the cash value is, okay, so cash value.
Cash value means that they, however many points they have, are going to turn into dollars, and you're going to let them pay with those points to get a product or service, whether they have enough points for it or not. If they don't have enough points for it, it will discount the service or product. That's cash value. Freebie means if they don't have enough points to get it for free, they can't use their points at all.
Okay, I got it now. Okay.
Okay, so we go to payment, and we go here. She needs 3,600. She's only got 2,163. So if I'm on cash value, it's going to let her use them, and it's going to apply a percentage based on that. So she owes me 171. She's only got enough points to use up $102.74. So she's going to owe me $58.26 that she's going to have to pay some other way. That's cash value. But what if we had it set for freebie? Setup, preferences, general. And I'm saying do not allow partial point redemptions. By doing that, I've set my system up for freebies only. So I go to payment. She would like to use her points. She needs 3,600. She's only got 2,163. Click, not enough points for this. Can't use them. Sorry, you don't have enough points. You can't use it. Now, what if she had multiple items on her ticket? She saw Kathy and got a blow dry. She owes me $210.90. She'd like to use her points. She can't use her points for the anti-curls. Doesn't have enough. But, whoops, she can use her points for the blow dry. So she's going to get her blow dry for free, but she's going to have to pay for her anti-curl.
Okay.
Make sense?
Got it.
All right. Cancel and cancel. So that's using points. And by the way, when a receipt is printed or emailed, it will show your customers points on them. How many points they have available will be right on the bottom of their receipt. Okay? So they know that for future. Now, how did I set all of that up? We do offer a points video as well as points training. So I'm going to very briefly go over it with you. This is not a class in it, because if so, it would be an hour all by itself. So I will just want you to understand very quickly, though. I'm going to go to Setup, Preferences, General. And where it says Enable Points Program, my points program is already enabled, but I want to get back into it. So whether it's enabled or not, all you have to do is put a check in this box. So if it's already enabled, you uncheck it and check it again. And if it's not enabled, you just check it. And when you do that, this window will come up. Looks a little bit confusing. When you learn it, it's really very simple. But you can have an unlimited number of what we call earnings classes. Earnings classes run simultaneously. Because of that, you cannot say that an acrylic fills earns you 50 points on earnings class A, but in earnings class B, an acrylic fills earns you 25 points. You can't do that because they run simultaneously. But what you can say is that in earnings class A, my massages earn you...
When you say earning class, what does that mean, earning class?
An earnings class is a description of your points program, and you can have an unlimited number of them.
Okay.
But they just can't be for the same services or products. So you can have one completely separate earnings class for massages, and another completely different earnings class for
Botox.
facials, or for Botox, exactly. And they can earn points differently based on their earnings class. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't have to do that. You could just say, no, I'm just going to make it basic for everything. And I'm just going to do a basic assignment. My earnings ratio, $1 earns 1 point. That's going to be my basic earning ratio. And my redemption ratio, maybe I say 10 points equals $1. I could do 20 points, 50 points, whatever. But I'm going to say 10 points equals $1. If I did that, what would happen then is that if somebody paid me $100, they're going to get 100 points. But they would need 1,000 points, because my redemption is 10 to 1, to get a $100 service for free. And if I was doing cash value and they only had 500 points and they were getting that $100 service, it would apply $50. So they would owe me $50 for that $100 service because they used 500 points against it. So it really, you're earning, and again, there's a whole class for this. So don't let it get confusing. I just want to give you the basics. So you get to set up basic earnings classes, or you can set up individuals for individual services or groups of services or products, things like that. When you have set it up, that is going to determine how your customers are going to earn points. But does that mean that because you set it up, all of your customers are suddenly earning points? No, it does not. Every one of your customers must be some type of member. They must have some type of membership in order to earn points. And even your memberships don't even have to earn points. But to earn points, they must have a membership. And your memberships can be
cost in the membership, or?
That's entirely up to you. You can charge for memberships or give them away for free. And you can have an unlimited number of memberships. So let's talk about that. Setup, configuration, general, rewards, membership setup. Click, and here we are. Now again, this is all part of the points class, which can take you about an hour. But I'm just going to very briefly. I've got a whole bunch of them set up. Remember, you can, like I said, you can set up an unlimited number. But let's just focus on these three: bronze, silver, and gold. My bronze membership is free. And I don't charge anything weekly, monthly, semi-annually, or annual for it. Why? Because, well, it's free. And that membership, which is free, I'm saying, does not give any discounts on services. And it does not give any discounts on retail. And it gives no comped services. What it does do is earn points. So if somebody said, I'd like to be part of your points program, and you want to give it to them for free, you could set up something like this. So now they're part of your points program. They're going to start earning points the way you set your points program up. But they're not going to get any other benefit. They're just going to start points.
What are they going to do with the points then?
I'm sorry, say that again?
If they can't use the benefit of the points, then what's the point of having them?
Oh, no, they get to use the benefit of points. They just don't get any of these other things. They don't get automatic discounts. They don't get a free comp service. That's right. All they get for being a bronze member is they get the ability to earn and use points. Now, what if they're a silver member? I said my silver membership is $10 and it's monthly. And for $10 a month, my customers get 2.5% off all their services. All my silver members get 2.5% off services. And they get 2% off all retail. They don't get any free services, however. They also get to earn points. And they get to earn points 2 times faster than bronze members. So if they spend $100, they get 200 points. My bronze members spend $100, they get 100 points, because that's my basic setup. But in this case, I said my silver memberships get an additional ratio of 2. So my silver member is going to earn points faster than my bronze members. And I said they get nothing else. They get a 2.5% discount on services, a 2% discount on retail, and they get to earn points twice as fast as bronze members. That's the benefit of a silver membership, and I'm charging $10 a month for it. Again, you can set it up any way you want. But then let's take a look at our gold membership. I said my gold membership is $100, and that's per month, $100 a month. And I'm giving you 5% off all services, 5% off all retail, and anytime you walk through my door, you get a free bang trim as a gold member. So comp service, bang trim. You can make any of your services a comp service. But what that means is that if they're this type of membership, then anytime they walk through your door, they can sit down, get that service, and they don't have to pay for it. It's free. Also, I said my gold membership earns points at a 3 ratio, meaning spend $100, get 300 points. So they not only earn points faster than bronze, they earn points faster than silver. You don't have to do that, but you can. I also said that every month as a gold member, you get 1 free French manicure. That's different than a comp service. Comp service, they could come in every day for their bang trim, and it'll always be free. But with this, I said every month, and I could set it up annually, monthly, semi-annually, or weekly, but I said monthly, every month you get 1 free French manicure worth $25. And then I've got these options here. I said a gold member earns this French manicure the moment they sign up for their gold membership. That's what earns in the month of purchase means. Mm-hmm. If I check this box, services accumulate, let's say I sold them their gold membership in September, and they do not use their French manicure in the month of September. In October, they'll have 2 to use. In November, they'll have 3 to use if this is checked. If that is not checked, then it's use it or lose it. If they don't accumulate, you get 1 free French manicure a month, and if you don't use it, you still only get 1 a month. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then we've got this one here, can be redeemed towards other services. No one uses this one, so I skip it. Can be redeemed towards other services. What that means is that this is no longer 1 free French manicure. What this means is that it's $25 worth of value. So then I could say, I want to use my French manicure for my Swedish massage. I'm going to get $25 off my Swedish massage. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so, and by the way, this is based on points. So if 1 point equals $1, then 25 points here would be $25. However, if you said 10 points equals $1, then in order to get $25 worth, you would need 2,500 points here. That would then equal $25. Okay, so it's up to you the way you set it up. Because if I had it set up 10 points, well, no, they wouldn't need 2,500. They would need 250 to equal $25 because I said 10 to 1. Excuse me. If, however, I said it was 10 to 1 and I put in $25, well, it looks like $25. I put in 25 here, they would get $2.50. But if I put 250 here, they'd get $25 worth of value. Okay?
Okay.
Right. So once I've set it up, I accept it, then I get to sell it. So let's go with Angela Gabusi here. She is not a member. How do I know? Because there's nothing here. There's nothing here. If there was something here, I'd know she was a member. I'm going to sell her a membership. I'm going to sell her a bronze membership, which is free. And accept. And payment. This is for $0. Do you want to process it anyway? Yes. Cash, accept, accept. I've now given her a bronze membership. The next time Ms. Gabusi comes in, there's something there now and it says 0 points. Perfect. She saw Christian. She got a Brazilian blowout for $365. She paid me with cash. The next time Ms. Gabusi comes in, she now has 365 points. $1 equals 1 point.
Okay.
She now has those points to use to get discounts or freebies for other things.
Can I assign everybody,
can
I assign every patient in our database a bronze without having to click every person as a bronze?
Yeah, you would not be able to do that through this. I mean, you could just go right through it and one after another sell them that. Yeah, you could do that. But in not online. Why did I do that? In reports, we have something called Data Miner. In Data Miner, you can create your own custom reports, but also our technicians can write a SQL statement in here. And so if you said, I need all of my clients to be bronze members, they should be able to go in there and make that happen.
Through online support? Through the...
through online support, that's right.
Through the
chat? Dial into your system. That's right. They can dial into your system and do that for you.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so that's the basics of the point program. So that's essentially it.
Okay, I have a couple questions. And I know we're getting
ahead.
close to the time and my patient's going to be
Yeah,
here.
I was going to ask you if you had any questions. We didn't get to cover everything that we normally cover in the class because you did have a lot of questions, but that's okay. I want to make sure that your questions get answered. So now, as we are at the end of the class, I want to ask you once again, do you have any questions at all on anything, whether I covered it or not? And I'm happy to answer them before I end the class. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. I do. Where are the videos, like this video here, you said you're going to put it on YouTube. So how do I get to the videos that are, I'm sure you have tons and tons of them on there.
Yes.
How do I look it up?
Okay, good question. First things first, let's go to our website. So I'm going to go to the Pro Solutions software website. And I'm going to go to support. And from support, I'm going to go to training videos.
Okay.
So I'm going to click on that. And first thing that you'll see are recorded classes. Now these are simply 4 classes that we were able to get through everything. That's why they're here. So this class that you and I are doing, I wasn't able to talk about the promotions or emailing receipts or the fortune teller, and because of that, I'm not posting it on here. But you will get it if you say, I want this class, because you want to hear your questions and things like that get answered, then you're going to get your own. But if you go to our website, you can watch the beginner's class that you took earlier today. This class was with other people. This is the full class. This is the online booking, retail, and gift certificate class. This is the Darcy marketing class and the Transcend Advanced class. So you can watch these that other people participated in that covered every part. Then we have our setup classes, initial setup videos, how to set up your sales tax rate, setting up your commissions, password setup, creating groups and services, adding operators, rooms, and equipment. There's lots of them in here. Rewards membership, which we just discussed, right there.
Okay. I got it.
Darcy
okay.
marketing. Exactly.
All right, I
so
got
there's
it.
lots of different videos to look at there. Then I'm going to email you a link to a what can I say? A YouTube video that's yours. That's your class. You and I talking, etc. That's not on our training video sheet. That's a separate link emailed to you so that you can get your class that you would.
But it's live for other people to see it on YouTube.
Yes and no. The link is not shared, and it's not here. So you would need to know the link, but yes, technically it's there. They could do enough searches to find it.
Sure, no problem. Okay, and then I have questions. I want to make sure I ask them of you. Photos. One of our problems in our office has been and always has been, we take photos of every client's every treatment, but we always seem to, we'll store them here for a little while, we never can get to them, yada, yada, yada. And I would like to be able to store them so I could pull them up, this progression pictures.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so first thing first, you can have an unlimited number of pictures, okay? I'm going to go here to where it says add display photos on file. I'm going to click here, and let's go with another one. I'll go with Tipper here and accept that. And okay, I can get out of that. So now I've got two of them. Obviously, it's two different people, but I've got two different pictures here. You can have an unlimited number of pictures. So you can have, for Michelle Babcock, maybe Bab Session 1, Bab Session 2, Bab Session 3 as the name of your pictures. And then you can upload them into the client file. So how do they get into your computer for you to be able to access them? In your software, there is a pictures folder. So, and you can actually look anywhere on your computer by clicking here. Anything in your pictures folder is going to be listed here. So there could be thousands of pictures. So hopefully you do actually name them when you put the picture in your computer. And you give it a name like Bab Session 1, Bab Session 2, Bab Session 3. Those will all be together then because they're going to be alphabetized. And so then you choose that picture, whatever it is, but you do it from the client file. So in that client's file, you go in there, choose the picture you want to upload. You can give it a separate name if you want, and accept it. Then that picture will be available to you. So now I might have Session 1, Session 2, Session 3, Bab Session 1, Bab Session 2, Bab Session 3 is really what you want, because if you just say Session 1, Session 2, Session 3, you won't be able to use that for somebody else because it'll be the same name of a different picture. You can't do that. It'll copy over your last picture. So each picture that you save to your computer, you should name differently. But then each one of these, however many sessions you have, they will all be there for you to scroll through. Bab Session 1, Bab Session 2, Bab Session 3. So how do we get it in there? Again, in the software itself, there is a pictures folder. So let me show you a little bit here. Normally, this is something that a technician would show you, but this is my actual shortcut that I'm using for this software. I've got several of them, you should see. I use them for different things. In the actual file location on my computer, there is a pictures folder. That is where you're going to dump your pictures. And it's going to be in my data folder. There we go. That is where you're going to dump your pictures. You simply copy them in there and name them. Once they're in your computer and named, they can be selected within the client's file so that every client can have just their pictures in their client file. And you can even do other things. Like, for instance, I know that there are places that have waivers. They scan the waiver, name it, copy it to that folder, and then they can upload a copy of the waiver or even a customer's driver's license, things like that.
Okay.
That they have stored in their client file. So and as I said, you technically have an unlimited number of pictures in there. The more pictures you have in a client file, the longer it takes the client file to pull up. It's just about instant. if you've got 5, 6, 10 pictures in there. But if you've got 150 pictures in there, you might click on a client file and count 3 or 4 seconds before it pops up. Just want you to be aware of that.
Okay, no worries. And it just pops up in that one square. Anywhere else does it pop up?
No, it's only in that one square and only in the client file.
Okay, great. Okay, and then let me see. I use Constant Contact, but you guys, I know we use some email through your Pro Solutions, and I like Constant Contact because it had a lot of variety.
Oh,
like,
sure.
Yeah. Do you guys have that variety and I just didn't know about it all along, or?
Well, it depends. It doesn't have as much variety as, say, something like Constant Contact, but it's pretty darn powerful. For instance, let's say that I wanted to send an email with an image, etc., and with links in the email, etc., to a certain group of my customers. I go to Reports, Sales, not Sales, Marketing, Create a List. So I might say, you know what, I just want my women who have oily skin, and accept. And I'm going to give the name.
The only way you know it's oily is because we did that in some field. And
That's right, yes. So okay. I'm going to call this oily female. Probably not a good name.
No worries.
Create my list. And it goes through every one of my customers, and it pulls up all of them. Now, in this case, it's sample data. It only pulled up 5. But it might have pulled up 500 or 5,000 or whatever it may be of my 22,000. Now that I've done it, I can go to Blast. Now, let's say I want to go with Constant Contact. I pull up my list that I created, and all of the lists I've ever created are going to be here, including my oily females. And I can now export that list. I can browse to anywhere on my computer and dump that list off. That way it can be uploaded into Constant Contact or MailChimp or something like that. Okay? Or, no, I don't want to do that. I want to blast right through Pro Solutions. So I click on Blast List. Then I can go to Set Up an Email. If I've already created the email, it'll be listed for me here. All of the emails I've ever created will be listed. There they are. But I'm going to go, and I'm going to go to Set Up, and I'm going to call this Oily Ladies. That's my template name. Then the subject of that email. And I might say, hi, open caret, CF, closed caret. Now, why do I do that? Because that's going to insert their first name. Hi, Marina. Hi, Sally. Hi, Jane. Everyone's going to get a different, and it's going to say, do we have a special for you? Exclamation point. So, just, something really basic. Hi, Sally. Do we have a special for you? Then I get to choose my font and maybe Arial and my font size.
And that's for the 16. Subject. Is that for the subject line or is that for the body?
It's for the body. For the body.
Okay.
The subject is always going to be just standard text because
that's what I thought.
Then I can even upload an image. So if I've already created an image for my blast, I can upload it from my computer. So I'm going to choose that one there and upload. So I've got my image now being uploaded. There we go. And this is a Mother's Day one for a customer that I was playing with. And now I can type my body. And in my body, I can make bold or underlined or both or neither or italics, or I can change the color of my lettering. And I can even insert URLs. So I could say something like, hi, open caret, CF, closed caret. Again, their name. Because you have oily skin and we overbought our oily skin care treatment package.
I got it.
We are, offering blah, 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 blah. Okay, now I might even say click here to purchase it online. And so I might say click space URL, insert a URL, www.pro, whoops, yeah, this is the URL. I'm just going to put in anything in here fake, and then display the link as here, and insert link. So there's my link, but what it really says is click, and then the word here is going to be there, and if they click on that here, it's going to take them to my link. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I've inserted a URL as well. Then I can save that template. Let me make sure that all of this is the right color that I like. including my link, and that it's all 16, including my link, and save the template. Okay, I just saved it. So now I can go in there and choose my list that I've just created. So let's go to email, and I should have my list in here. There it is, Oily Ladies. Send myself a test email so I can see what it looks like before they get it. So I'm going to send it to myself right now, Matt W. at prosolutionssoftware.com. And okay. Test email sent, great. And then after I look at it and I say, yeah, that looks good, I hit process and everybody on that list will get that email. Okay? Now, I don't know if I have my Darcy set up, but if I do, I should have just gotten an email. Let's take a peek, shall we?
Yes.
Together. I do. Look at that. Hi, Jane. Do we have a special for you? Remember, this is a sample. And there's the image that we uploaded. Of course, I just uploaded anything I grabbed. This was the Happy Mother's Day one.
And where are those images? Do you have stock images?
We have a graphic arts department, which is at your disposal at no charge. It's part of your monthly subscription. So if you want to make it yourself, go for it. If not, if you say I need help, then we can help make it for you. We actually made this one, and that's why I have it in my file, because our graphic arts department actually made this one. But there's the color and everything. And look, hi Jane, because you have oily skin and we overbought our oily skincare treatment package, we are offering ... Click here. And if I click there, it should take me to my website. And it sure did. So it's working beautifully. So yeah, you can do that now rather than you can say, you know what, I don't need constant contact anymore. Or maybe you do. Maybe you say, but that's the way it's going to look.
Okay, got it. Okay, so I got my photos, members. I think I've got all my questions answered, and then I'm going to watch all your videos in the next. Oh, do you ever have meetups like Shutters on the Bay like you had before?
Oh yes, of course. Yes, we haven't done one we didn't do one last year. I understand that we are planning on doing one at the end of this year. But all of our customers will be made aware of it when and if we do it. I can tell you also that there are trade shows that we attend, and we teach classes there live, obviously. For instance, at the Premier Beauty Show, I'm going to be there in Orlando in just 2 weeks. I'm going to be there in Orlando, and I'm going to be teaching 3 days. I'm going to be talking specifically about digital marketing when I'm there. But I'm always happy to answer questions. And of course, I'm going to be at the Day Spa Association booth, and I can answer questions there as well. So if you want to be face-to-face, you can find out what trade shows we're going to be at. I was just in Chicago at the America's Beauty Show. I'm going to be again in Orlando in 2 weeks. And we should be doing another live class for our customers here in Los Angeles sometime near the end of this year, probably November or December.
Okay, and do you list those on your website where you're at?
We do, and we also put them on our Facebook page, and we also announce them through Twitter, and we also send blast emails to our customers.
Okay, awesome. All right, and I'm speaking to Matt, right?
You sure are.
All right, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate your
Maria.
time, and I'm gonna.
Did you want a copy of this video as well?
You don't even have to send me the copy of the last one because all those ones on the probably better the ones on your
that's
website.
Fine. Just know that you asked some very specific questions, and they may not be addressed in some of the other classes.
Okay, then you can send it to me no matter what. Yeah,
Okay, take care. All right, okay. Bye-bye.
Hey, good care. Bye-bye.
My pleasure. Bye-bye. Bye.